Hey everyone, it's me Tim from FTA Adventures, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 tips for cleaning your bike while traveling on your motorcycle. And this video goes out to my patron, Alexander Maluski, who came up with this topic for a video. So when I'm traveling on my motorcycle, I'll typically wash my bike once a month, and I'll just bring it to a self-serve car wash and power wash it, spray it down, scrub it down, rinse it off, and dry it off. And these are 5 tips for things that you should be looking out for when you're doing that. Number 1 is stay away from brakes and electronics. You don't want to pressure wash anything near your brakes because you could accidentally get water into your brake lines, and as far as electronics, it's just not a good idea to get those wet, so stay away from those when you're using the pressure washer. Second tip is to stay away from sealed parts, things like, for example, a rubber boot that would be on a drive shaft. Anything that's supposed to keep water out, just stay away from that stuff because your pressure washer is going to get water in a way that your bike is not designed to prevent. In other words, your bike is designed for rain and puddles, not high pressure water. So something like the boot on a drive shaft, it can handle being in the rain, it can handle going through a puddle or even a river, but if you put high pressure water against it, it's likely to get in and rust different parts. Tip number 3 is to soak the bike first. Get it nice and wet, especially where the bugs are on your windscreen, your headlight. Just really soak it down really good. That'll soften everything up and make it a little easier when you go to brush it off. Tip number 4 is to dry off the bike as much as possible and then ride it for a little bit to air dry it, any parts that you didn't get the water off of. This will prevent any rust or water from collecting in places where it shouldn't be. So dry it off with a towel, or some car washes actually have an air hose that you can dry it off with. That makes life much easier. But just have a rag with you that you can wipe everything down, especially the metal parts. The plastic's not so important. You might get water spots on your plastic, but it's not going to damage anything. Not like if you get water, say, on your cylinder head, and it sits there for a while, it could start causing the metal to rust. And tip number 5, the final tip, is to make sure you use your brakes a few times before you pull out into traffic after washing your bike. The reason for this is that your brake pads are going to be wet and they're probably not going to be as sticky as you're used to them being. So as you're pulling out of the car wash, just pump the brakes a little bit, try to get the water off of them before you pull into traffic, and at least be aware that for a little while your brakes are going to be wet and they're not going to stop as soon as you're used to. So those are my 5 tips for washing your motorcycle while traveling on the road. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.